Hello and welcome to Be a B2B Leader. I'm your host Felicjan, and today my guest is Nemanja Zivkovic, the CEO and founder of Funky Marketing, where they help businesses generate growth by building holistic marketing strategies that cover all aspects of their business. In this interview, you will learn how you can impact the buyer journey to ensure your ideal customers have a great experience from the first moment they interact with your brand. It's an exciting topic, so let's get started. Hi Nemanja, and welcome to the show.
Hey man, nice to meet you. Nice to be here. I'm excited. Let's do this.
Yeah, so let's dive straight into the topic. Please tell me, what should every B2B leader know about buyers, their habits, behaviors?
Yeah, it's I always say like it's not a rocket science. So you need to know who you are selling to. In most cases, so you need to know are they buying the same way as they were buying before? Have their behaviors changed? Have their thought process changed? How is decision making process going? So basically, we say at Funky Marketing that basically we align research and strategy with creatives to help B2B companies create demand the way buyers buy now. And why do we say that? It's because the way they buy has changed a lot in a recent couple of years, mostly based on that like the internet, if you look at 5 years ago, was not mature as it was today. Social media weren't was it what it was today. Basically today the state of the internet is the social media, right? A little bit of Web3 coming in, but that's where we are now. And back in the days, to buy and to find out information and all those kind of things, people needed to go to Google. That was the only way
Yeah.
to go and find out things. Today, basically, if you look our behaviors, I guess you are behaving the same way as I am. Like we are spending majority of our time interacting with our peers on social media, and it's we do that more than we do our job on a daily level. And if you look at that, that's one of the segment the way we buy. So we connect with our peers, we ask them for advice inside communities. Back in the days we didn't have smaller communities. Now we have specialized smaller communities for all kind of stuff. Then we have social media where we interact with our peers, and there's also one thing that affects the way we buy, and it's actually people in similar position as we are, and it is not that part particularly is not something that we can actually track in no way. So if I want to buy something, I don't know, I was buying a scheduling tool a month ago, and I posted on social media. So that's it.
Yeah.
I got the answer from social media. But if I didn't do that, I would just pick up my phone and call a couple of friends that I know from the industry and ask them, what are you using for scheduling tools? Because like Buffer is not the right fit for B2B, for LinkedIn. They're focusing on small business and e-commerce.
Mhm.
And I need somebody who is also doing B2B to tell me what are they using, so I don't have to do additional research and go over that. And besides, actually above all this is actually, who do I know that's
Yeah.
related to the topic that I'm in. And if you look at all those things, so it's all happening inside interaction with people, those kind of things. And why is that happening? Because back in the days when we were going to Google, like the whole market was on Google.
Yeah.
Now it's not. People spend time on social media when they're not on the market, and
Yeah.
as like.
But do you think that yeah, it applies to all businesses? Because let's say you have those big corporations where yeah,
Mhm.
you have a CIO that has a vast network of peers inside the company and outside of it. And yeah, I look at lots of those decision makers and I see that they aren't as active on social media as yeah, as marketers. So do you think we can impact them also through social media, or somehow should we look for those communities? But there aren't too many communities that they are part of.
Yeah, look, they're watching and listening. That's one thing that I know, because I even got scheduled calls from the people that don't follow me. We are not connected on LinkedIn, but they say they saw my LinkedIn post, and they went to straight to my website and scheduled a call, and they told me specifically, like, I like your go-to-market strategy. Your thesis seems promising, and it's unlike the things that I'm seeing around me in manufacturing B2B industry. So I know that they are there and they are watching. Maybe they are not interacting. Like majority of people on LinkedIn, for example, are not interacting. Like if you look at the structure of LinkedIn, it's mostly people working in marketing and sales. So to get to the decision makers, you need to go over marketing and sales. That's why, we are saying peers. So your people working with you in marketing on sales, if you prove them that you are the expert, if they look at you as the authority, they will recommend you to the decision makers. And also, like, if you look at the typical SaaS or B2B product, there's a department that's using the product. There's a CFO that's making a decision, should we buy that or no? And there's a founder or CEO. Like those are the people involved in the buying process. And then, we usually go straight to the main decision maker, so to the CEO. We don't think that there's somebody who needs to make a decision about the money, and there's also somebody that will use our tool. So if we empower those people that will actually use the tool, prove them that this is extremely interesting for you, this is something that can help you achieve your goal, they will advocate for us to those that are above them in the decision making process, and influence the decision maker from bottom as well.
Yeah. And how can you ensure a great buyer experience when there are so many moving things in between? Because it's not one person that you have to interact with. There are many people that you have to convince and show that, yeah, this is the right solution. This is how you can solve this problem. And yeah,
Yeah, that's actually what you said. There are too many people. That's actually the main problem, because like too many people leads to too many biases in B2B. For example, the person that I mentioned, the one that is using the tool, is afraid to go and buy a tool which is maybe not in top three in the market, because if they fail, they will get fired because of that, right? So they choose to go with the May one, even though if it's not a real fit. And if they fail, they will say, we took the best agency, we took the best product, go ahead, check it out, they are the first on this and this list, those kind of things. And if we look at what's happening in the reality, like less than 5% of B2B companies are in a market right now to buy. If you go from that perspective, which means they're spending time somewhere else, they're still, what you said, not maybe interacting, but listening and watching. And if you go from that perspective, it means that, we need to do the research, see where those people are, where they're spending their time, then involve the subject matter expert who they trust. So somebody who is relatable to them, who can talk about the topic, who knows in depth their problems, issues, and even challenges. Because I like to take it on a challenge level. So when they go back to the problem, it's not like we are the only one having a problem. It's the change that is happening no matter what we do. And then we go from that part. And when we go from that part, we talk about it, we have a unique point of view, and they come to us. But when they are coming to us, we want to make sure that their experience is, without any roadblocks. What does it mean? I like to have the website, which is basically like who said it? Chris Walker said it. Like the outlet.
yeah,
Like the outlet, when you go and I look for the next move, when you click, I want to buy. And if you look at how is the experience on most B2B tech and SaaS websites, it's basically they come to the website and you need to go and schedule a demo. You cannot, and then you need to talk to somebody. Usually it's SDR, then it takes you to the AR, to the account executive when you are ready to buy. So it's already two-person, including the marketing, it's three or even more.
yeah,
And then when they are done with the deal, you get to talk with the customer success or somebody other than that. And there's too many people. So
yeah,
what the way I see it, what is happening, like give them the trial, because maybe I want to use the tool and solve my problem today. And if I do it, I will go back and I will buy the tool, or at least give me to see the demo on my own, because customers today want to do their own research. They want to see what fits them, and then when they're ready, they will come to buy. So
Yeah,
if we look at it like that, it's a little different, and it goes into creating relationship with them every step of the way, instead of just looking at the things in transactional way.
yeah. But how do you do that research to learn how they buy? Because let's say you don't have any customers yet, so you don't have someone to talk to, and you want to create a new product that will solve a problem for a specific person. So let's say you have a list of 50 people that you are your ideal customers. So what do you want to ask them during the research?
Yeah, like let me tell you, I did that for Funky Marketing because I was
Mhm.
totally in B2C when we started, and I didn't know that I'm gonna go in B2B, but I had like 9,000 people on LinkedIn, and I've done like 200, 250, 60, maybe even 70 calls, virtual coffees with people, and I saw that there is a gap. So there is a gap in B2B that I can fill in because the same pattern they keep repeating, and I saw, okay, so like if 100 or 150 of those 250 people repeat the same thing, then it's something that I can get in. If you have a list of people, you can always invite them, like you are inviting me here on a podcast, talk with them about the problems, issues, different things. You can ask them how is decision making process going. Do they already have a vendor or no? You can ask them where are they going to get educated about the topic, or do they? You can ask them also, one thing that I always like to do is, um, how would you call a product or a service that is solving specific problem, or like things that will give you a hint of how to do things. Back in the B2C days, I'll tell you one thing, and it's quite interesting. We were trying to sell uh, toothpaste and
Yeah.
toothbrushes. So a quite popular brand in Europe. I think they're the most popular brand when it comes to those things. But they had interdental toothbrushes, which
Mhm.
basically when you have the gap between the teeth, they help you with that. And you cannot ask people in the survey like, "Do you have the gap?" Right? So it's not very polite to do that. So we
Yeah.
asked them, "Do you use the toothsticks?" Sticks. Basically,
Mhm.
if they say yes, then we know that they have gaps
Yeah.
between the teeth.
It's
So
very likely that they will have one.
yeah, sometimes you need to be clever and go and get to know them a little bit different. And also, always the best thing always is to have the community before you actually build the product or you build the service. But sometimes that's not possible.
Yeah, like I believe that communities are strong and you can almost always create one, but it also takes a lot of work. So, it's not that easy. But communities have that nice thing that you can really build those relationships inside them. And I want to go back to the thing you said before that, yeah, you have to build those relationships. So, would you say that building those relationships is the key to success in B2B?
Yeah, I think definitely the way things are right now, the way B2B customers buy is basically coming from B2C to B2B, and I always like to look at Netflix, Airbnb, like those
Mhm.
big B2C brands that are actually changing the things. So, for example, if you look at Netflix, they give you personalized experience based on what you are doing on the platform, right? Or before you even get to Netflix, they ask you a couple of questions. If you look at Airbnb, it's the same. They give you not only the apartment that you're going to rent, they tell you what's around it. Are there some cafes, restaurants? How do you travel during the city? What else can you do over there? So basically, they're meeting you halfway. They're not waiting for you to come to them, as some old brands are doing. They're meeting you halfway.
Mhm.
So as B2B buyers are also people, just like we all
Yeah.
are, and they have this experience with brands like Netflix and Airbnb, and they come to B2B. Will they go back to the bad experience that they are having with these brands, or they will say, I want to have the same experience as I have with Netflix, with Airbnb, and I demand that from you? Because like right
Mhm.
now the buyers have all the power. They didn't have that power before. They were just going to Google, and you get what you get over there. We had television, we have advertising, we have print, so no two-way communication. Now it's all two-way, and the customers have all the power. So from the seller perspective, we need to adjust to that.
How can you adjust it when you sell a product that, yeah, a product or service that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars? So just by creating content, you won't see who exactly interacts with it. Like there are tools that can facilitate that, but still, it's not that easy. And at the same time, you want to, yeah, you want to kind of control the journey. Is it even possible to control it?
I think it's pretty much possible to control. You, I don't need to see who's seeing every piece of content or who's exactly interacting. I need to see who's converting and what do those people tell me. Recently I saw that everybody starts separating like closing demand and
Yeah.
creating demand. Um, I think like with creating demand, most people are actually damming the demand, meaning
Hmm.
using the existing demand and turning it into your own uh, s- subcategory. Sorry about that. But what's actually interesting is I've been doing that since forever. I think because like on Google, G Analytics, Google Search Console, they don't give to me enough information about am I doing marketing right? Like I always had that even when I started in marketing. Like I think SEO was the first thing that I actually needed to study. That was the one thing where I was the worst at. And I look at SEO like the customer research team. They go to Google and they look at how are people coming to us. So Google Search Console is giving you something, but you have the direct traffic. That is
Hmm.
always one of the biggest chunk of the traffic that is getting to the website. You have no idea what's happening over there. Even those that are coming from social media channels and Google, you don't know what happened over there. But if
Hmm.
you ask customers like, why do you want to work with us? And that question that I think everybody should have on the website, how did you hear about us? Like they will actually give you all the information. Like I don't know, we had like Peplaya recommended you, or
Hmm.
we got funked on LinkedIn because it's funky
Yeah.
marketing, or like we are following Nemanja, Alexander, and back in the days, it was Ivan and Linda. They even give
Hmm.
us the names of the people from the team that they are following. So it's like
Yeah.
LinkedIn, they know what's happening. Then they give me Funky Marketing Show. They are listening to the show. I saw your post on Medium, so I know what's happening also there. Because otherwise, I would just see it in referrals, and I wouldn't know what's happening. So when we know that we are creating demand over there, it means that we need to invest more in that. Because we are following if somebody's coming from LinkedIn. Are we closing them? In which rate are we closing them? And are they staying with us long term? So we go reverse, see how are those people behaving, and if those are the great customers, then we go back and we create demand to get more of them.
Do you think it's possible to really create demand? Because that's a topic that, yeah, I like to argue about. Because for me, like creating demand isn't really possible because, yeah, you can't force someone to buy something. It's more about staying top of mind, showing what you do, and at some point when people see a need of that service or whatever in their business, then they come. But it's more
Yeah,
about
yeah.
education.
Well, you just explained creating the demand, basically. So it's not forcing somebody to buy,
Yeah.
not at all. It's basically two things. So let's break down creating the demand and damming the demand. Basically, creating the demand is meaning creating desire in somebody's mind through education, information, and entertainment. So when they are ready to buy, when they are on the market, so they come to you first before they go to Google. before they have the buying intent. So you create that before they have the buying intent. To create that desire before they have the buying intent, you need to not mention sale at all, not talk about it. So it's creating a relationship. Damming the demand, on the other hand, it's a little bit different, and I think most of the companies are doing that. Most companies don't need to create the demand because it's extremely hard. So they go to damming the demand, especially if they have competitors that are already in the market for years. So what they need to do is they need to go and advertise in those channels where those customers are the strongest one, and tell them, look, I know that you are using this product, but we just
Mhm.
developed something new. It gives you some features, some information that other tools, the existing one, doesn't give you. It's maybe more flexible. It has a better pricing option, or we just have a unique point of view that is making us better fit for you. So we go and we use that, and then we go in parallel, basically, through the main category. And so we want them to come to us. It's not about us selling to them. It's they coming to us. What we say about outlet, the website, they come to the website, click, I want to sell, I want to buy. And basically, this is the moment when they are ready to talk to the salesperson, not
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah. But how do you reach those people? Because yeah, reaching the right audience organically, I know it's difficult because you have to really have a great strategy. Yeah, build out your network, but it doesn't scale at one point. And at the same time, not all businesses have the money to invest into paid advertising. So, what would you advise to those people that want to create demand
Yeah.
but don't have the
Uh,
budget?
let's start a step back. So it's like, first we need to set up. We said, how we closing the demand, how we're creating demand. What we need to do first before we think about creating the demand is figure out how are we closing the demand. So closing the demand is SEO. Closing the demand is advertising. Closing the demand is review websites, those kind of things. And this is how we are actually closing the existing demand, because those people are already on Google looking for a solution, looking for a product, and we need to just gather them. For the majority of companies, like, it's 1 to 3% of those people that are on the market, and 1% is just enough
Mhm.
for majority of the companies. So not everybody needs to create a demand, and we just need to see how much of demand is actually out there, how much of it can we close, and then if it's not enough, then we start building the demand. So some companies you have no idea about, I don't know them, they're just closing the demand, and they are huge companies, already established, went to the enterprise level, and they're just closing the demand because they found a niche when there's a lot of already existing demand. Just to give you a perspective, like, if you look at demand creation category, revenue generating, those kind of things, where we are, like, we started a couple of actually a year after Refine Labs, after
Mhm.
Chris and the team. And so he's going before us and creating the
Yeah.
demand. So I don't need to create additional
Yeah.
demand. And I'm seeing it, like, last couple of months, people started to go into Google and look for, for those things, and they come to us, they say, we found you on Google. But from our perspective, what we have done to adjust those things, like, we created articles outside of specific posts on LinkedIn, so interacting with
Mhm.
people. Those posts and those tactics and strategies are not on Google. So we are giving something new into the equation. And for example, ranking for a lot of keywords related to B2B strategies for tech startups,
Mhm.
and all those similar keywords. And they're looking for that, and they're coming to us. So they're not going to look for somebody who's going to create a demand. They're going to look for somebody to create a strategy and to
Yeah.
see what they actually need to do. Do
Yeah.
they need
So
to
they will
create
be
demand?
looking for someone with the strategy that will help them just start executing. Yeah.
Exactly. In most cases, when they look for somebody to come up with a strategy, they want to you to implement the strategy as well. But
Mhm.
you need to prove that and give a unique way of doing it. So that's the only thing. Point of view, I think, is the most important thing today. I like to say zig when everybody else zeg, because like,
Yeah.
for example, Funky Marketing Show, we started. I think we were one of the first ones to do with the headline and description when we
Mhm.
distribute smaller parts of the episode. But then everybody started doing that. So I said,
Yeah.
let's change it and let's start. Let's see what else we can do. So we found an old TV
Yeah.
frame,
I
and we were
remember that one.
inside. Yeah, we were inside the old TV frame, and as the video was going on, like the button for the volume was increasing, and people remember us for that. Now we changed again because again something changed, and this is the thing. You and I were talking. Exchanging opinions about competitors. Should we look at the
Mhm.
competitors? Should we go and do our thing? We need to know what competitors are doing. We don't need to copy them, because like to give you an example, a company we were working with, I stopped working with them, huge company. Now it's maybe they're going for the IPO, so they're smart company doing smart things. But at the
Mhm.
time, in the beginning, they were trying to copy their North Star, which is tech development company. So it was Accenture, and Accenture
Yeah.
has 100,000 employees. They
Yeah.
had 300, and they were trying to do the same thing as Accenture is doing right now. Which meaning,
Yeah.
Accenture did some of the things differently when they were little. So you cannot look at your competitors and like just copy them, because it's just different game at the moment. And that's what I say. You need to look at the competitors to know what they are doing right now. Where are they in all their process? What is the product? What are the services? What's their point of view? But if you just look at them and you are okay with growing with them, with the market, you are actually losing in the long term. Why do I say that? Because it's enough that one competitor who is looking at all the others uh, secretly uh, innovates.
Yeah.
They innovate a different point of view. They basically innovate in a lot of features inside the same product, or come up with a new product, and they take over the market with a new category.
Like, I think
So
the problem with looking at competitors is the fact that many smaller companies look at those conglomerates that have thousands of employees
exactly,
because
yeah,
you know you can do a lot of things in house, but at the same time you don't have the resources. Like if a company has been on the market for 50 years and they grew from just one person to having hundreds or even thousands of teams of specialists, because those companies, they don't employ anyone from the street. They pick someone who has the talent and someone who can really change something in the business. And if you want to compete with those people, you have to understand that the fact that they serve all of the industries, it's not that you can do it too. Like, pick your strength, focus on a niche, and try to dominate it. And then, if you dominate one thing, then you can move to another.
well said, well said. I have nothing to add. That's it. And one thing is, that's why I say you need to know who you are talking to in depth. And to add one thing, I forget to mention it before when you said like we have 50 customers, a list of 50 that you want to work with. Like sometimes you don't have the list, so you can go reach out to some of the people that you think over there. But podcasts are also a huge source of information about your target group, because like people like you and me, like decision makers, CEOs, innovators, they come to the podcast and they don't talk only about business. You can learn a lot of things outside of that, jobs to be done, all those things you can find out by listening to the podcast. So usually it's not the first thing that you do, but it's an additional thing that can help you a lot to find out some information that are missing.
Nemanja, it was it was perfect. But please tell me, what would be the biggest takeaway? So, how can people really impact the buyer journey?
Yeah, I think for me the biggest thing is having a unique point of view, so being able to differentiate, and you do that you know how to differentiate by getting to know your customers. So doing the in-depth customer research is the essential thing that you need to do before you actually invest in a product or a service. Um, Even later, okay, it's never too late, but invest in that. Find out who those people are, how they're actually buying, how they get educated, how do they inform, and how do they make decisions. When you know those things, you will know how to differentiate and how to add a different point of view, because you are unique. You don't need to look at somebody else. Look at yourself, because your uniqueness is in you. Then implement that into the business and into the results of the customer research, and here you go.
Awesome. Like, I love the topic of differentiation, and it doesn't have to be something fancy. It can be a very small thing, but if it matters to your customers, that's enough.
Yeah, a small example. We name funky marketing because funky in music, funky music means the music that makes you want to move,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. We want with our marketing to actually create a relationship with people and activate them, make them want to move, come to
Yeah.
us. So that's it, as simple as that.
That's I love it. That's enough. And Nemanja, where can people find you and how can you help them?
Yeah, but basically, as I told you, so we work with B2B tech companies to help them use strategy and research with creatives to create demand the way B2B companies buy now. Uh, I think I'm everywhere. So like LinkedIn is the best way. Then I'm on Facebook. If you want to talk with me about basketball, NBA, and Partizan, then I'm on Twitter, having sort of a breakdown says the results are going sometimes in Serbian. So Instagram as well, but also like funkymarketing.net. You can find over there also the links to the Funky Marketing Show, reaching out. I think 100 episodes next month. So yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, that's an impressive number. And who should I invite to the podcast to learn more about B2B?
Oh man, that's a very hard question. So I'd recommend you one person, actually two. So one is Rory Sutherland, to get them to talk about the biases in B2B. I've done that, and I don't see many other people are talking with him about B2B and about biases. So like going more in depth on that is a great thing. He'll give you also the great exposure for the podcast. Also, the other thing, the other one that you should invite. Hmm. Her name is Miljana Nikodjevic. I'm sure I'm the first one that's mentioning her name. She's doing company transformation. So like difficult stuff. She
Yeah.
is not even 30, and she's the person that sends a message to the CEO on Slack every day. If you don't do this today, it costs you the money or the time. So like, and she's leaving the room when they consider her a child. So a great guest, and I recommend you invite Miljana.
Yeah, like she sounds like an awesome guest. So, Nemanja, it was great to have you on the show. Thank you for being a guest and probably see you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It was really a pleasure to be here and to jam about B2B stuff.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Be a B2B Leader. If you liked this episode, make sure to leave a review in your favorite podcast app. Also, if there is something you would like to learn, let me know. After all, we are building a knowledge base for B2B.